But what about the other teams in the tournament? FC Dallas had themselves a pretty nice run in the 2010 playoffs, but they get overlooked in this list of stories. But I say overlooked no more because it's time to talk about how they got to the MLS Cup finals in 2010, culminating with a huge conference finals win over the LA Galaxy. But before that, let's chat about how we got here. Dallas were a solid side in 2010. Actually, let's call a spade here. They were a fantastic side. Led by head coach Shellis Hindman, FC Dallas only lost 4 of their 30 games in 2010, amassing 50 points off of 12 wins and 14 ties. A stellar attack led by the likes of Jeff Cunningham, David Ferreira, and Brek Shea tallied 42 goals in 30 games, good for 4th best in the league. They were also defensively stout with players like Ativa Harris, George John, Heath Pierce, and Kevin Hartman, helping Dallas put up a fantastic defensive record of 28 goals against in 30 games, which was good for 3rd in the league at that time. Their regular season success, the 50 points that we just spoke about, it was good for 3rd in the West and 4th overall in the league, which led them to the first round showdown with reigning MLS Cup champions Real Salt Lake, who finished just 1 spot above them in the Western Conference table. This 2-legged tie would be as tense as you would expect between 2 very evenly matched sides, starting very hot with a Fabian Espindola goal just 5 minutes into leg 1 before Jeff Cunningham leveled the game heading into the break. With all things looking destined for a tie, it was Eric Avila who would step up and score the game-winning goal in the 88th minute to help Dallas take a 2-1 lead into the second leg on the road. This second match started brilliantly for Dallas as everybody's favorite ginger, Dax McCarty, gave Dallas the 3-1 aggregate lead in the 17th minute. Robbie Finley would get one back in the 80th minute for RSL, but it was too little, too late, and Dallas would move on to the conference finals. 90 minutes and 1 win away from MLS Cup final. With only one thing standing in their way, the 2010 Supporters Shield winning, star-studded LA Galaxy. Now I want you to think about 2024-2025, which is when we're recording this, for those of you who are still listening to this series in 2030. When you think about the Inter Miami that played in this day and age, 2025, the stars that just no other team possessed, the Messis, the Albas, the Busquets, that's what 2010 LA Galaxy was. Their starting lineup, Donovan Ricketts, Omar Gonzalez, AJ De La Garza, Sean Franklin in the back. Casually had a midfield of Dima Kovalenko, Juninho, Eddie Lewis, and I don't know if you've heard of this guy, David Beckham, also known as David Beckham. And then up top, they just had a few of these guys, Mike McGee, Edson Buttle, Landon Donovan. No team in the league had a starting 11 even close to that insane level with MLS experience, national team quality, or even international quality. And FC Dallas needed to go through them to make their first ever MLS Cup. They sent out a group as formidable as you'd like, with all the players highlighted before in the starting 11, and Jeff Cunningham on the bench in his super sub role. The team's 34-year-old leading goal scorer this season did a lot of his work from the bench in the dying moments of the game when the defenders were out of gas, and where his experience could take over. In front of a sellout crowd of 27,000 fans at Dignity Health Sports Park, Jair Marufo blew the whistle, and the game was underway. And from that opening whistle, it was Dallas's game from beginning to end. In the 26th minute, Marvin Chavez picks up the ball from the right-hand side and found David Ferreira in a pocket of space at the top of the box. He took a deft first touch to lose his defender and fired it low and hard to Donovan Ricketts' right-hand side. His movement was so quick that Ricketts could not react, and the ball trickled into the goal, giving Dallas a 1-0 lead, which they would take into the halftime break. But they were only able to take this lead into the break thanks to a very strong showing by former Galaxy star Kevin Hartman in goal. He came up with 4 huge saves in the first half on the likes of Donovan and David Beckham to keep them off the board. In the second half, Dallas got back on the front foot. In the 54th minute, Brek Shea picks up the ball on the left side of the Galaxy penalty area. He took a touch to the end line and squared it across where center back George John would tap it home to double FC Dallas's advantage. While the Galaxy would continue to push to get back into the game, it was not meant to be. For in the 73rd minute, Dallas would put the icing on the cake. In the first half, Chavez found Ferreira at the top of the box, leading to a Ferreira shot and goal. This time, in a very similar passage of play, Ferreira would give that shot up to slip in Chavez 1v1 with Donovan Ricketts. With the time and the space, he would make no mistake and tuck it into the bottom right-hand corner of the goal. Dallas would hold on to this 3-0 lead to the final whistle, earning themselves the title of Western Conference champions, as well as a spot in MLS Cup Final 2010. They went into a game where no one expected them to win, and not only did so, they dismantled MLS's dream team, a team with the runner-up in the Golden Boot race in Edson Buttle, with the face of the league in David Beckham on their side, paired with the U.S. men's national team greats like Landon Donovan, who led the league in assists that year, and Omar Gonzalez, who helped LA to 11 clean sheets in 30 matches. Against a team that had only conceded twice at home in the playoffs in the last 6 years. And instead of listening to the outside noise, they put their heads down and they worked. This was not a fluke. Dallas earned their spot in MLS Cup Final 2010, and it will go down as one of the most impressive playoff performances in Dallas and MLS history.